No, it's not quite time to celebrate Easter yet. And yet, today, we're going to check out a new video that just came out recently on the internet, especially on YouTube. A video that shows the alleged recovery of a mysterious oval-shaped object, which seems to be of extraterrestrial origin. Welcome to the UFO Section 51 channel. I'm Doskeek, and you're back with me on this channel. It's now celebrating its 10th anniversary since I remind you that it was launched at the end of 2014. Today, we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the UFO Section 51 channel on YouTube. And God knows that these days, it's getting harder and harder to keep a channel on the YouTube platform. With all the restrictions, all the censorship constraints imposed on us by the dominant ideology or some form of political ideology. But often, it doesn't reflect the mindset or mentality of the majority of users at all. And we can see it today with everything happening around the X network, especially in Europe. Many critics are trying to get the X network banned, exactly because it brings a certain form of freedom of expression that is becoming increasingly rare today. And in Western Europe, what scares traditional media, classic media, is precisely this alternative information, this independent information that the X network can offer. It's a kind of freedom that we absolutely must preserve in Europe, that you've managed to preserve pretty well in America by reversing the trend thanks to the American elections. EU control challenges Europe's rights. We're not out of the woods yet, and the fight is still really tough to try to preserve our rights and freedoms. In a context of the European Union that keeps trying to impose more and more of a form of dictatorship, both in thought and politically. And by the way, it's no coincidence that we're hearing this term more and more to describe the European Union, which is the Soviet European Union, referring to the USSR, the historical Soviet Union, which was known for its propaganda, censorship, and political commissars. That's exactly what we have today in the European Union. Everything is decided by political decision makers, by people who haven't all been elected by the public, but who think they have the right to make decisions for the populations. And it's often against the interests of the people, and more in their own personal interest, or in the interest of certain lobbies that are very influential in Western Europe. But I'll stop this aside. Before we continue this video, of course, I invite you to like the video, to share it as much as possible to help spread this information. And of course, I also invite you to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, if you appreciate its creator, and if you want to join this channel community. UFO Section 51. I'm making this video today in French, which will later be translated into English with the help of Elia, because I thought maybe for 2025, it could be good to launch new projects, especially to keep developing the channel, with now videos in English and also the same videos in French to help grow the community of French viewers. Because I know there are a lot of UFO enthusiasts in France who are often very frustrated because they don't find enough information on this topic in French. So maybe a good resolution for this new year would be to develop the UFO Section 51 channel with videos in English and exactly the same ones in French, to further expand this community, to enrich even more the bank of videos about UFOs and all the related topics on this channel. And of course, I haven't forgotten about you English-speaking viewers. Because it's you, in a way, who have contributed to the success of the UFO Section 51 channel since its beginnings. Are you the historical community of the channel? So I will continue to make videos in English on UFO Section 51, but they will be bilingual. There will be a version in French and a version in English. And luckily, today, with AI, I might be able to offer you more comprehensive content, and maybe that will be the winning recipe for the channel. Thank you anyway for your understanding and for your support. Once again, thank you to all the subscribers, to everyone who has just joined us recently on the channel. I wish you all my best wishes for 2025. I wish you all a great start to the new year. Not like me, because I started the year 2025 with a bad flu. I was pretty sick in the first few days, so I just recovered. I still have a few remnants of the flu, but I'm feeling much better. And we're going to keep working together on this documentation. Information about UFOs on the UFO Section 51 channel. What else did I want to say? Another piece of information that's quite important. The pace of videos might slow down a bit in the coming weeks, since 2025 will also mean changes for the channel, at least in terms of decor. We're going to be moving the setup, the decor in another building. For me, it's going to be a lot of work in the coming days to move all the equipment, to move the entire studio. And this will definitely be an opportunity for me as well. to refresh the decor a bit, to update the setup, in a process, once again, of improving the quality of the content, the quality of the channel, as you can understand. So I thank you in advance for your understanding, for your patience, especially, don't worry, if there are a little less videos on the channel in the coming weeks. That's completely normal. It's because I'll be busy working on setting up the new studio. I'll be back really soon with new videos to keep you updated, and maybe I'll even make a few videos too, about the behind-the-scenes making of the setup in the new studio. But let's get to the topic of today's video. There's information that has been shared on various websites, as this is a video that was aired for the first time a few days ago. On the YouTube channel News Nation, there's a video about the recovery of an egg-shaped UFO. A video that had been announced for a few days, like the revelation video, a shocking video. A completely new video that was going to reveal to the whole world, for the first time, in a very clear and precise way. Very detailed, an UFO, an object of extraterrestrial origin to the global community. Except that upon watching this video, a lot of people were disappointed with the content. The spectacular images weren't necessarily there, and I admit that I was also a little disappointed by what was shown in that video. So, are we going to go through all of this together? An article from the Bellingham Herald featuring this stunning photo of the extraterrestrial highway sign. The Milky Way rises above the extraterrestrial highway number 375 in Nevada, near Rachel. Images of the recovery of the egg-shaped UFO have now been released, even if some members of the extraterrestrial hunting community don't seem very impressed. Indeed, the images of the recovery of an unidentified flying object, or UAP, as they're called today, an egg-shaped object that was supposedly shared with News Nation by a former US Air Force pilot, have recently been published. But the extraterrestrial hunting community is not impressed at all. News Nation was contacted for a comment on these images. Why is this important? The video was highly anticipated by the extraterrestrial hunting community, but it was, to say the least, disappointing. Some internet users even created their own homemade remakes of the clip, while others expressed their anger over the quality of the video. Before we watch the video together, let's go over some details of this story to try to assess the credibility of the whistleblower behind these images. What you need to know is that in October, Jacob Barber told News Nation that he had been involved in the recovery of extraterrestrial technologies while working for an apparently little-known UFO recovery program. According to the media, Barber served in the US Air Force and was also recruited into Air Force Special Operations. And then he worked unofficially for the Department of Defense and the intelligence community. Barber told News Nation that while he was working as a helicopter pilot to recover a craft that had fallen from the sky, he encountered what he described as a white egg. He told the media, "This doesn't match anything I had ever seen before. I can also tell you that my team's reaction made us realize we were dealing with something extraordinary." He told the media, "This doesn't match anything I had ever seen before. I can also tell you that my team's reaction made us realize we were dealing with something extraordinary." The images of the recovery of the white egg were obtained by News Nation. They were shared online for the first time this Sunday. That is to say, Sunday, January 19, 2025. Jay Anderson, host and podcast presenter, shared the video on his X account and created a poll in the comments. A poll asking viewers if this video lives up to the hype that preceded it. And it's true that there was a lot of hype leading up to the release of this video. I've received a lot of emails from subscribers of the Section 51 channel telling me to watch out. There's a very important video that's going to be released in the coming days. A major revelation about a UFO, an incredible video, is going to be revealed in the coming days. Dogeek, can you cover the topic, please? That would be super interesting. I was a little torn between excitement and also a bit of skepticism.
Do you believe UAPs pose a potential threat to our national security?
Yes. The technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years. Biologics came with some of these recoveries.
Oh my gosh, dude.
In the field of ufology, you should know that often there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of misinformation, or often manipulated and distorted information. There's always a big job to do in terms of filtering information, to isolate the true information regarding real sightings that have turned into false information. Over 1,500 people voted in the survey, and 94% of the responses were no. Obviously, this video didn't live up to the hype. We're going to watch this video together, hoping I won't get a strike or a warning from YouTube or the channel. News Nation. It's just comments and information about this video.
News Nation has independently obtained previously unseen video obtained from a secret UAP craft retrieval program. This extraordinary footage clearly shows an egg-shaped object dangling in a sling below the belly of a helicopter.
I'm not going to show you the whole video because I want to protect my channel. And if I want the Section 51 channel to celebrate its 11th anniversary, I really need to protect it well. So, we're just going to show a few excerpts from the video. And of course, I'll put all the links in the description of this video so you can check out all the information for yourself.
That's an egg-shaped UAP suspended from a 150-foot long line. We're told the craft is about 20 feet long. The egg suspended in a cradle. And look how careful the pilot is as they bring their precious cargo into land. Let's freeze frame here to look at one of the clearest images of a UAP ever taken. This is no blurry light in a distant sky. The source of the footage putting themselves at incredible risk to record this UAP retrieval. Look at how perfectly smooth the craft is. No markings at all, and no visible means of propulsion or way to see inside. Watch how it rolls, almost graceful as it hits the ground, despite being wrapped in the ropes and canvas from the cradle as it's dropped for pickup. The UAP's final destination still unknown.
A video narrated by the highly acclaimed investigative journalist Ross Coulthard, who is known for conducting numerous interviews of whistleblowers and many other witnesses, including politicians, on various topics, especially the subject of UFOs. The video description states that News Nation has obtained exclusive footage showing the recovery of an egg-shaped object recorded during a recovery operation looks like a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon, that Navy fighter pilots reported seeing off the east coast of the United States in 2015. So, obviously, there are a lot of somewhat cynical comments. Below the video, especially this one, it says 100% true. Believe me, I'm an expert. The helicopter came back 30 minutes later to pick up the 2 slices of bacon. How come nobody's talking about the potential of a giant chicken running around? Here are the majority of the reactions from internet users. And I totally get those reactions when I see this kind of footage. At first, we were promised an extraordinary video, an incredible video, completely unprecedented, that would show for the very first time in a very explicit way an object of extraterrestrial origin that is being recovered by the US military. And what we see here is just a sort of very low quality video that could have been filmed in anyone's backyard with a GoPro camera, or even with a drone that might have had a string attached, trying to pull up some kind of white styrofoam object, or maybe even a balloon. The fact that there's a color filter on the image doesn't help lend any credibility to the video. So, I totally understand the disappointment and the somewhat bitter feelings of people who watched this video. That's exactly what I felt too while watching this video. Getting back to the article, what people are saying, one user, Elite Pilot, took to X to share a video of what appears to be the end of a vacuum cleaner being pointed towards an egg slowly rolling on a baking sheet. The user wrote, "Breaking news, nothing like this has ever been published before." A first-person video testifies to a real recovery of UFOs by the government. A 6-meter-long egg-shaped UFO, a super-secret and high-tech recovery device, was used. On Reddit, another user mocked the video by writing, "This video couldn't have been cheap to make with egg prices these days." Another Reddit user was more upset. In his response to the video, he wrote, "My wife wanted to watch this with me, and now I look like a damn idiot. It was beyond crap, in every way. What a ridiculous thing, far more disappointing than what I was expecting." Another user on Reddit wrote, "Why does all this look like a miniature? It looks like a little piece of string attached near a GoPro that's dropping a real egg onto a carpet. Few details can be seen in the images." Although the Huffington Post reported that the object is no different from what was seen in clips previously shared by other whistleblowers, some of which were later confirmed as authentic by the Pentagon. So, what I'm really asking for is that we get this shared officially, and very seriously, maybe in a public hearing in the US Congress. Archive videos of extraterrestrial objects or unidentified objects that show the same type of operation and are declared perfectly authentic by the authorities. Maybe in a public hearing in the US Congress. Because we can't stay with this negative impression about this kind of videos. Perhaps the whistleblower's testimony is completely authentic. Maybe the person is sincere and the experience they went through is totally genuine. It would be great for the investigators to be able to bring that together. Other testimonies from people who were present during this supposed recovery operation to confirm the statements of this first whistleblower. That would add even more authenticity to this video. Because right now, we can't really rely on the video itself. It's not of good enough quality. And here we are on the social network Reddit, where you can actually see that the video has also been shared. The full video from News Nation on the egg-shaped UFO. In this clip from News Nation, Ross Coulter presents and breaks down a video of the egg UFO. This is a supposed excerpt from the recovery of this UFO mentioned by Jake Barber, where he claimed to be piloting the helicopter, to which this famous string was supposedly attached, which is meant to pull the egg up into the sky. BB1180, who tells us, well, the video quality is better than I expected, I have to admit. The object itself, without any frame of reference to judge its size, could be a real chicken egg, from what I can tell. Another person says, damn, it has no means of propulsion, it's just like an egg. And on a more serious note, if this is real and the scales are correct, it should be possible to use AI with data from Google Earth. We could even limit it to North America to pinpoint the exact location of this event. Why on earth would someone keep this classified video? Indeed, Fujifilm Enjoyer tells us it's irrefutable proof. Yes, it's the irrefutable proof that it's an egg. I find it interesting that in this news article Coulter says that the UFO community needs to stop treating this as entertainment. Has he ever watched his program? This is exactly what he, Corbell, Elizondo, and even KNAP do every day. It's true that it's not with this kind of video that it's going to contribute to giving more seriousness to the field of ufology. What kind of terrain is this supposed to be on? There's something off about the scale and the shadows. Haha, I can't believe I got up early for this. I live in Germany and work as a police officer. I have to drive to work in 3 hours, and I got up early to watch this video. What a load of crap. I had never watched a show on an American TV channel before, and I had to turn it off. It's crap. People talk for 3 minutes, then they take a 7-minute commercial break. They come back for 4 minutes, and then they take another 8-minute break. How do you put up with this shit? I don't care. I'm out of here. I'll come back in 10 years to see if we finally have something. Even if this shit was real, the way they presented the situation destroys all credibility and any reason to take them seriously. It's worse than tabloid gossip. It's true that it's really poorly filmed. At no point do we see the helicopter. We don't see the helicopter crew, and we have no reference points. I don't know, but even if we weren't supposed to show faces, it's really easy when making a video to only film silhouettes or shoot from a distance. People who are working and participating in this case in the recovery of an object. So here we have a completely anonymous video, almost devoid of information with very few reference points. Aside from a rope, the ground, and an egg-shaped object that's on the ground. It's moving because the rope is making it move. Even in the case of military operations, I can only imagine that the American military, or even the armies of other countries, when they film their operations, take a much broader frame to gather as much information as possible during the operation. And that's the bare minimum, and it makes the most sense. This is what many companies do during construction sites when it comes to work on large buildings. We use cameras, drones to film the progress of the work in order to collect as much information as possible. And that's why we often use the widest frame possible to capture as much information in the shot. So, here in this video, which is supposed to be classified as secret defense, which is said to have been made during a very sensitive military operation, we absolutely don't have that. So, it's really strange, and it makes you think there's a good chance this video is yet another hoax. I find it unfortunate Rose Coulter, doing investigative work, caught in revelations, who do regular work of investigation, interviews, important witnesses, politicians on these subjects, which are nevertheless quite important subjects. I find it a shame that this kind of journalist gets a little taken in by this kind of revelation. I think he should have been a bit more professional and waited to gather a lot more evidence on this information before sharing it with the public. Obviously, it was handled in a pretty superficial way. When you have very few elements in your hands, the risk. When you broadcast this kind of image, you don't want to be taken seriously, and you contribute once again to making the subject laughable. And that wraps up this video. I hope you haven't been too disappointed by the reveal of this video either. It's incredible, this supposed UFO shaped like an egg. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below this video and let me know what you think about it. Incredible, a supposed UFO shaped like an egg. Feel free to react in the comments below this video and let me know what you think about it. Is this just a big hoax? Were you disappointed by what you saw? Didn't it deserve more? In the end, all that hype, it really feels like it was a lot of noise. for not much, and I completely understand the disappointment of people who reacted negatively on social media regarding this video. But that shouldn't stop us from looking into other videos of the same kind that could currently be held by US authorities, the military, that have already been viewed by numerous experts or by American senators, and which have been declared completely authentic. By the way, what would be great following this video is if it could convince other serious American military personnel who have witnessed other military operations, secret recoveries of supposed extraterrestrial objects, to come forward and testify with some more convincing evidence than the video we just looked at today. This was DoseGeek on the UFO Section 51 channel. Thanks for sticking around until the end. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for your thoughts. Thanks for your likes. Thanks for sharing. And thanks for subscribing to the channel. Of course, if you enjoy the content and want to support me in making future videos, I'll see you very soon on the UF channel at Section 51. In the meantime, before the next video, of course, don't forget to keep your eyes on the sky. Be observant, stay curious, and be vigilant. You never know when an unexplained phenomenon might happen in the sky at any moment. And then, of course, I'm going to wish you, as usual, long life and prosperity. Longue vie et prospérité.